A bit of hail on the back, maybe. No hail. Rain anyway, definitely rain. I don't think it was cold enough for. We didn't really have an updraft
It's just low level stuff flying around.
for the hail.
Yeah, it's just low level stuff flying around.
Yeah, I actually watched the video there, the hail, how it's actually created. It was amazing. It was good. It was on the Weather Channel.
Good evening, everyone. Drew Richards here, coming to you live from the Live Storms Media Weather Center. Let me check our audio real quick. Hey, sounds good. We're using some new software, so we're using the Jarvis setup tonight. Jarvis is not available, but a huge shout out to him. He's done a lot of work on the computer here in the studio, so if we have any bugs or weird things, y'all let me know in chat. Austin, good evening to you, sir. So you guys, you know the drill. Jump into chat. Don't be shy. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. Riding along with Jason Cooley. Check it out. That's a nice sunset, and he is in north central Texas. We'll get you an exact location on him right now. He's in Crowell, Texas. Not a lot going on. So the reason we've not been live so far today, it's quiet. We've got a lot of severe thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic we'll take a look at here in a second. We've got some severe thunderstorm warnings in Kentucky, South Dakota, West Virginia, and we had one in Oklahoma and parts of North Texas with a big hailstorm, but that storm has completely fell apart. So we just don't have a whole lot going on in the most prime area, and that's kind of to be expected. Notice that beautiful sunset there. Let's go back full screen to Jason once he gets his camera stabilized there. So I jumped on just a few minutes early because I saw that beautiful sunset that he is bringing to us again in, what's that water tower say? Thalia, Texas, I believe is what that says. So again, we are riding along with Jason Cooley. We've got a couple other storm chasers loaded in as well. Mainly wanted to answer your questions since not a lot's going on just yet. On the tornado side, we wanted to come on and answer any questions you may have about the remainder of the evening or about the severe weather expected for tomorrow. So what we'll do, let's go in and let's make this a little bit more full screen so you can see the map here. We'll go back to Jason Cooley here in just a second, but just so a little bit larger there for the map. Let's turn off a lot of these colors. So we're going to turn off our watches, we'll turn off radar, we'll turn off lightning detection, and our mesoscale discussions. How about that? Kind of blanking out a lot of the map. And that is your outlook area for the remainder of the evening and the overnight hours. We still have that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk in portions of the mid-Atlantic, but look where those storms are. They've already pushed south out of most of that area. So the next time the SPC updates, they'll likely remove that 3 out of 5 risk. We've had a lot of hail here. Had some hail near Washington, D.C. earlier, about quarter size. Again, most of these have been hailstorms coming through portions of the mid-Atlantic today. However, right when I say that, it looks like we've got a couple wind damage reports. Trees down near Scotts Fork in Virginia. And then we've also got high winds knocked a few trees down in the Winterpock area, and again, in Virginia. So some wind damage. We've got some hail reports now coming in northern Kentucky, quarter-size hail near Oldham, Kentucky. So again, a little bit of severe weather in the mid-Atlantic, but more or less your summertime activity, not tornadic activity today in the mid-Atlantic states. Now sliding out to the west, notice we've had some golf ball size hail here in northern Texas, where you see those little orange rectangle icons. That storm moved up near the Altus, Oklahoma area. There it is. And there it goes. It just completely fell apart as it's moving through the Altus and the Hobart area. So that was the one we were watching for, a possible tornado threat coming into central Oklahoma, but it's fell apart. So good news there. Going up to the north, it's kind of funny. Not really. A lot of these storm chasers were hoping to see, and I was hoping to see, a very photogenic Kansas tornado in the middle of an open field today, doing no damage whatsoever to structures. Look at all the chasers. That's all your spotter dots, and it literally looks like little ants moving around on a map there. There's just nothing going on, unfortunately, for the chasers, and fortunately for those people that live out here that did not want to see severe weather today. So the dry line is still just to the west of Hayes, back near Garden City. Good evening to you, Michael Beard. Glad you were able to jump in again. Sebastian and Brianna as well. Hello to you. You guys go ahead and hit that like button for me. Like I said, we're jumping on talking about severe weather threat rest of the night and for tomorrow. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. We will get over to those here in just a second as we continue to watch that beautiful sunset there from Jason Cooley out in north central Texas. Not a lot of storms, but you don't always have to have storms to have a very photogenic sunset. Let's take that full screen again just for a minute. And again, a very, very beautiful sunset there from Jason Cooley out in north central Texas. Beautiful as he zooms in there. Love that. So again, we're talking the severe weather threat for the rest of the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. Let's go in real quick and just make that radar a little bit larger for you. We do have some severe weather going on up in Nebraska, but it's all severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings. We've had some hail up there in north central Nebraska. We've got lots of damaging wind reports coming out of south central South Dakota right now. Winds gusting anywhere between 55 and 60 miles per hour. It looks like we've had some quarter-size hail in and around the Rapid City, South Dakota area. But again, no current tornado warnings, and I don't believe we've had a tornado warning at all day today. So definitely good news there. Michael says, my eyes, yeah, blinded by the sunlight setting there, right? So here's what we're going to do real quick again. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in chat. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes tonight just because there's nothing going on. We're not going to sit here and talk to you guys for hours on end when we've got some severe thunderstorm warnings and that's it. It looks like from the Storm Prediction Center, the latest we have from them, which is here in central Kansas up into southern parts of Nebraska, that's what we call a mesoscale discussion. Now, from the Storm Prediction Center, I will read this off to you. Let's see if you can see it. No, you can't see it if I drag it on the screen. So we're likely going to get a tornado watch in parts of west central Kansas and south central Nebraska. Guys, I apologize. Pollen is kicking my butt today. Let me go on mute just for a second. I'll be right back. I apologize again. Down here in the deep south, we have 5 seasons, and we're in our 5th season, which is pollen season, so I apologize if I'm a little stuffy tonight. But again, what we're looking at there is the mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll make that a little bit larger so you can see radar again. A watch is coming. Tornado watch is coming. The probability of a watch being issued is about 80%. We are going to have rapid thunderstorm development, they state. It says probable at some point this evening, most likely by 10 p.m. to midnight, but perhaps an hour or two earlier. Once storms form, a few supercells are likely posing a risk for very large hail and tornadoes, a couple of which could become strong. Trends are closely being monitored for a watch issuance, which seems likely at some point, though timing remains a bit unclear. So again, that is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center for this section. They've got that little circle there that you see on the screen from Garden City up through Hayes up to Norton. Again, that's what we call a mesoscale discussion, and that is basically them saying, making sure our audio is still good, they will issue a watch, but they're doing what we're doing. They're just sitting here watching and waiting for storms to form, and so far they don't have any reason to issue a watch because we don't have any indications that thunderstorms are about to explode in that area. So again, good news there. Further to the north, that's another mesoscale discussion. They're circled in the pink. And again, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch up in that area. The yellow shaded counties there, that is a severe thunderstorm watch. They basically say the severe weather threat continues for this thunderstorm watch area. The initial thunderstorms will likely weaken while spreading towards northwestern and north central South Dakota, with more thunderstorm development further to the south, potential for a few supercells north of the North Platte area through 9 to 10 p.m. Oh, we got to go back to the sunset. Check that out. So again, a beautiful, beautiful sunset set from Jason Cooley there in North Texas. And how about this? How about one more from Bryce Shelton? That's what it looks like in Kansas right now. And there again, that's just why we don't have a watch, because it is absolutely crystal clear with a few clouds on the horizon out there in central Kansas. Looks like Bryce is in Greensburg, Kansas, where they got devastated by the big tornado. What year was that, guys? 2004? You guys let me know in chat what year Greensburg was. I do not remember. I think it was around 2004, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't have the best memory on dates. But again, beautiful sunset there. We don't come to you live a whole lot bringing you beautiful sunsets from our storm chasers. So it's a little bit different here tonight on the channel. We are thankful we are live bringing you sunsets and not severe weather. There again is Jason Cooley in north central Texas watching a beautiful sunset about to go down over the horizon. So we'll go back to your comments here in just a second. Give me just a second. So just now, as we're watching the sunset, we've got a brand new tornado watch that was just issued for that area that we were talking about in Kansas, northwestern Oklahoma, and south central Nebraska. So let's go back to the radar map as we continue to watch that sunset there from Jason Cooley. Notice the red shaded counties over there. That is a brand new tornado watch that was just popping up. Thank you, Michael. 2007 was Greenberg. I appreciate that. I knew it was somewhere in the early to mid 2000s time frame, but 2007 Greensburg. There's a brand new tornado watch. Let's go in and get the details on that watch real quick. Western and central Kansas, south central Nebraska, northwestern Oklahoma, and the eastern Oklahoma Panhandle, and northeast Texas Panhandle. And that goes until 3 o'clock in the morning. Issued at 8:05 p.m. Central Time, and it goes until 3 o'clock in the morning. A few tornadoes are likely, with a couple intense tornadoes possible. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail up to 3 inches in diameter. Scattered damaging winds likely, with isolated significant wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour possible. So here's your summary from the Storm Prediction Center again just as a couple minutes ago. Thunderstorm development is expected this evening along a dry line from the Texas Panhandle into western Kansas, with an environment that will become more favorable for tornadic supercells after dark. A couple of strong tornadoes will be possible with the more discrete, persistent supercells, along with very large hail up to 2.5 or 3 inches in diameter. Some clustering of storms will be possible later tonight with an accompanying threat for damaging winds of 60 to 75 miles per hour. And again, that is the text from that brand spanking new tornado watch that was just issued there again for northwestern Oklahoma, much of central Kansas, and then portions of southern Nebraska there. So with that, let me go back over to chat. What were the 2 years for the super outbreak, Sebastian says? I'm assuming you're talking about the 1974 and the 2011 super outbreaks. Evening, Josh. Good to see you, sir, as always. Good evening, Logan. Good to see you in here with us as well. Let's go back to our live feeds. Looks like we had Bob Pack with us earlier, but looks like he may have turned his feed off. He was also there in north central Texas. We've got Bryce Shelton out there again in parts of Kansas, watching a beautiful, beautiful sunset underway. And we've got some pretty cool layouts. Again, huge shout out to Jarvis, because Jarvis has been hard at work getting all these layouts set up. So while y'all are watching that Bryce Shelton camera, give me just a second. And I will change a couple things around here. Boom. There we go. So what we have the ability to do is we can kind of go back and forth between our national radar product, which is over there, our single site radar product, which is up there, and we can kind of flip back and forth between the two of those really quickly, just like that, and we can keep our cameras up at the top. So if we have multiple cameras going, we can have a whole row of cameras across the top up there. We can have, instead of you guys having to look at me, we can have another chaser feed where you see me here. We got all kinds of different setups. So again, huge shout out to Jarvis for setting all that up for us. Very cool layout. It's taken me a little bit of getting used to, so I've been kind of down here working a lot in the studio earlier this morning, and then before we went live to get all these cool boxes set up. But again, huge shout out to Jarvis because we've got a lot of really cool layouts that we can use here on the channel. So let's go back quickly and look at chat. There's the weather wife in chat. Good evening, weather wife. Yeah, let us know how many of you guys are watching from a phone tonight, because I know sometimes the text on the phone gets cut off a little bit. So we'll have to see if we can't make that a little bit better for phone or mobile use. But let's go and look at some of these warnings right quick. Again, we don't have any tornado warnings anywhere in the country. That was a brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming out of portions of South Dakota up here. So you can see all these scattered cells in South Dakota, kind of pivoting around that low pressure system, moving off to the north and west. A lot of damaging wind gusts continue, 55 to 60 mile per hour winds from Valentine, Nebraska, up through the Mission, South Dakota area. And that's the brand new severe thunderstorm warning that just was issued. We'll get you the details on that one. That's for Millette and Jackson counties in South Dakota for damaging wind gust up to 60 and ping pong ball size hail as that storm generally moves northwest towards the Midland area. So again, lots of damaging wind in portions of South Dakota. And let's slide back over to the east in portions of northern Kentucky real quick, because there's a couple cells that are severe, mainly producing quarter-size hail. But we do have a tree down there near Oldham, Kentucky, just northeast of Louisville. So these are just some scattered pop-up storms along that boundary. Another one over here near Williamstown, Kentucky, but that one looks like it's weakening just a little bit as you see that loop going by. And had a really big core on it as it moved into Williamstown, Kentucky. And now that seems to be weakening just a little bit. So good news there. We do have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. What do I mean by that? Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see this if you're watching on a phone. Anytime we have a considerable tag on a severe thunderstorm warning, it means it's not your everyday severe thunderstorm. And for this one, it's for golf ball size hail. So this is for southeastern Wyoming County in West Virginia. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 9:15 Eastern, so just a couple more minutes on that one. Again, that one's for golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour wind gust. It looks like we had a golf ball size hail report coming out of the Pineville area, and they are extending that warning now. So McDowell County and Wyoming County, you just saw that pop up there on the radar map. New severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:45 Central, 9:45 Eastern. Hail size down to 1.25 inches, so not quite golf ball size hail anymore in that storm, thank goodness. Yellow shaded counties there continues to be your severe thunderstorm watch, and we'll likely see that continue to be shaved off as these thunderstorms keep moving south and east. But again, mainly damaging wind gust and a lot of hail. Richmond, you're all clear. Washington, D.C., you guys are clear. Charlottesville area down to Lynchburg, you guys are clear as well. Roanoke, you're still got that watch, so we'll have to watch that thunderstorm off to your northwest. Farmville, Virginia, all the way over to the Virginia Beach area. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for you guys. CJ watching from northern Kentucky. There you go, CJ. Yes, my phone is blowing up. I'm going to have to, we use Teams chat for our chat behind the scenes, and our camera guys are working hard tonight. So again, thanks to them for that. I have to go on do not disturb mode over here for a minute. Sorry if y'all heard that. But let's go back to, let's do one thing real quick. Let's flip over to our single site radar and put our little national radar up there at the top. So still got that little bitty thunderstorm here. We're in Oklahoma now. So we are looking at central Oklahoma. And actually make this a little bit different on the layout. How about that? Is that better? The only thing I'm going to have to do is get better switching my feeds around. Jarvis is the king at that. There we go. So these camera feeds you'll see switching around as some of these people go up and down with their live feeds, but we'll get those over my head. And again, that is a little bitty cell we'll watch there, southwestern Oklahoma. That's what's left of that storm that came out of Texas. It really fell apart as it moved through the Altus and the Hobart area. It's trying to kind of come back to life a little bit. No warnings in effect for that. But if it continues on its current path, it'll go through the Carnegie, Oklahoma, the Alfalfa area, the Binger, all the way up to the Hinton area, and eventually that one will probably come up towards El Reno over the next hour or so, and eventually move up towards Okarche, or probably somewhere between Kingfisher and Oklahoma City over the next hour and a half. So we'll watch that storm. It's in a pretty good environment. It's got a lot of shear, it's got a lot of cape, but there's a very strong cap in place. So there's a layer of warm air above the surface that is kind of acting like a lid on these thunderstorms, and as they go up and they try to form, that warm air rises and it hits warmer air and it can't rise anymore. So it kind of just, again, acts like a lid on thunderstorms, and it makes it very difficult to get explosive thunderstorm development whenever Austin, I still see you guys chatting over here. You guys are not bothering me. I just turned my phone on silent for a minute. But I got Austin and Tyler. Shout out to you guys again. I see y'all over there in chat. Sebastian, what is the day of the 2 moderate risk outbreaks in April 2024? Sebastian, that's this year. And yeah, we did have the back-to-back moderate risk, but I don't believe either one of those verified into an outbreak. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. The craziest day we've had so far this year was the Ohio day, which ended up being on a slight risk with a 2% tornado risk up there in Ohio. When we had, I think, over a dozen tornadoes that day. And again, I don't remember the date. Y'all let me know in chat what day that was. But that was the busiest tornado day by far that we've had. Now, we've had bigger tornadoes than the ones we had in Ohio. But again, as far as the most tornadoes on one given day, yeah, the Ohio day was definitely the biggest one. So again, on our new radar that we've got down here, you can see all of our chasers that we've got out in the field. There's Jason Cooley's location east of the Crowell, Texas area. And you can see his live feed right above my head up there. And then we've also pulling in Bryce Shelton's live feed, and he is up here near Greensburg. So he's still in the Greensburg, Kansas area. And we're just showing you a blank map because, again, there's nothing really going on in either of those locations. Very, very good news there. All right, guys, with that, we'll keep it going for about 10 more minutes or so. I don't have anything new. No tornado warnings. Again, we're going to kind of keep it short and sweet. We need to talk about tomorrow. So one thing we need to do while I've got the radar up, we do have the enhanced risk for tomorrow as well. Let me see if I can show it on this radar. I may have to flip something around right quick. Let's see. Nope, I'll have to get creative here for a second because I can't show you anything but the day one on that software I'm using right there. But for tomorrow, we do have the enhanced risk. Let me get it pulled up for a second, see if I can pull this in. So tomorrow probably will be a little bit more active than today. We've got a 10% hatch tornado risk for portions of northeastern Missouri into east central Iowa, southeastern Iowa. So for tomorrow, I do think we'll have more wind shear, less of a capping issue for tomorrow. And I'm trying to see how I can get this loaded in for you guys. Give me just a second. See if I can save that. Boom. Haven't tried to do many things on the fly here yet, so let's see if I can pop this in for you. Photos. Yeah, Sebastian, that was a very interesting day in Ohio for sure. We had multiple tornadoes. And again, it's not uncommon or unheard of to have a slight risk day with a lot of tornadoes in a slight risk. Remember, it is not about the risk level. The risk level just generally means how many we're going to have and not how bad. So always keep that in the back of your mind. I may not be able to pull this in for you guys. I thought I was going to be able to show you the risk for tomorrow, but I apologize. That's the only thing I didn't load in before we went live tonight, and I thought I could pull it in, but it is not wanting me to. Cancel. There we go. Now we got it. All right, guys, here's your risk for tomorrow. There again is your enhanced risk. Portions of northeastern Missouri, west central Illinois, didn't mention you guys a second ago, and then all the way over into portions of Iowa. And again, that is an enhanced risk. Level 3 out of 5. I don't generally like the wording because a lot of people think that enhanced sounds worse than moderate. I know my weather wife is one of those. So a lot of people, non-weather people, think, you know, if I've got a moderate risk, oh, that's not as bad as an enhanced. Well, that's actually completely backwards. Enhanced is not as bad as a moderate. So that's why we just use the numbers. Think of it as a 1 through 5 scale. That's a level 3. So you're kind of halfway there. That is, you know, pretty bad day if everything comes together just right. So if you're in that enhanced risk area for tomorrow, definitely stay weather aware. Have a plan in place and know what you're going to do if the tornado warnings are impacting your area. Lowest floor away from windows. And again, you don't want to be in vehicles. You don't want to be in mobile homes. And that is generally a good rule of thumb for severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Sebastian, a high risk basically means an outbreak of severe weather is expected. You can have EF3 to EF5 tornadoes in a slight risk. So again, the risk level has nothing to do with how bad it's going to be. So Sebastian, to answer your question, no, not necessarily. A high risk is basically talking about the number of severe weather reports, high wind or tornado or hail that you're expecting in a given day. I always like to use Jason Simpson, one of my good buddies down in Birmingham, Alabama. He always liked to use the analogy, think about a pasture with cows in it, right? So the fence would be the SPC outlook. They're drawing lines basically around where they think the severe weather is going to happen. The higher you go up the scale, the more severe weather reports they expect, or the more cows might be in that pasture. Now, are there days they issue level 3, level 4, and not a lot happens? Oh yeah, we've seen that a lot this year. Thankfully, we've had a rather quiet severe weather season so far, but just like tomorrow you saw there on that map, they're drawing the area that they think is going to have the highest risk for tomorrow. But that's not to say if you're in that marginal risk, that level 1, you aren't going to see a strong tornado. You could have an EF2 or an EF3 tornado in a level 1 risk. And again, the SPC, excuse me, it's all about numbers. So a high risk or a moderate risk, level 4 or 5, they expect excuse me, I apologize. They expect many more severe weather reports than they do on a level 1 or a level 2. Excuse me again. All right, guys, with that, we're going to wrap it up here in just a few minutes. Let's go back in and check in with our storm chasers and see what we've got. Looks like we've got a, oh, check that out. So just like that, we got Bob Pack stream back. Where is Bob? Let me get a location for him. Bob is in Rule, Texas, R-U-L-E. So while we're looking at his feed, excuse me, he is north of Abilene. So let me get the radar pulled up for Bob's location. And he's looking at the storms pretty much that is northwest of Abilene near the Aspermont, Texas area. Saw some lightning on his camera there just a second ago, so let's see if we can. I'm going to flip around our cameras real quick so we can see his feed above radar. Is he number 4? Nope, he's number 1. The hardest thing about my new layout is remembering all the numbers of my people. 3, he must be 2. There we go. So let's go back quickly and look at radar, and I'll put Bob's camera right there above my head. That's the little storms he's on, right there near Aspermont, Texas. We can actually turn on our spotter dots, and right there. So right where my mouse is on the screen, that's Bob's location. In rural Texas, just east of Old Glory, Texas. I love that. These are some new thunderstorms that are trying to get going, but they are, again, kind of struggling. So we will watch Bob's camera here for the next little bit. What I may do, I may just step away for a little bit, and we'll keep the live stream going on Bob and some of our other chasers if y'all want, and keep radar up as well. Y'all let me know how y'all want to proceed for this evening, or we can end the stream, and if something crazy happens, we can always start another one later. So y'all let me know in chat here over the next 5 minutes or so if y'all want me to end the stream, and then we'll come back later with more live coverage late tonight if we have like a crazy tornado emergency or something happen. Or if y'all want me to just leave the stream going for a couple hours and just have our chaser feeds on there. Let me know what y'all prefer. Sebastian, primary threats in a high risk generally are going to be widespread damaging wind like a derecho or a tornado outbreak. I don't know. People way smarter than I am. Let me know in chat, some of you Storm Chaser guys, Logan or Michael, if y'all are still here. I don't know if they can issue a high risk for hail. Fred Gossage, one of my good buddies at Tennessee Valley Weather, he would know. He's like the SPC expert, and he knows all the criteria about what they can and can't do and all that good stuff. I don't know all that like he does. So I don't know if they can issue a high risk strictly based on hail. But I know they can for, again, damaging winds like a derecho, you know, like we had up in Iowa several years ago where they had the widespread 100 to 120 mile per hour straight line winds. And, of course, tornado outbreaks like 2011, April. That was obviously a high-risk day. 2014, also in April 28th, 2014, was also a high-risk day down in the Deep South. And you guys know we've had plenty of high risk out there in the plains as well. All right, again, riding along with Bob. Let's see if he's got any audio coming through. I think he does. Let's listen in with Bob for a minute.
To get dark, I'm gonna stick with this for a while. The one behind it is also looking pretty good too. So pretty good spot out here. I may just go south just a bit to try to get into a better horizon view. Love this area up here with all this flat terrain.
And again, y'all heard Bob there briefly say, storms looking a little bit better. They are trying to get a little bit stronger on radar, but again, nothing is severe near his location at this time. So with that, 8:29 p.m., guys. Keep the stream going, Dylan says. So that's fine. We'll stay with Bob here for the next little bit. And I will go on mute. Got to go upstairs for a little bit. I'll watch radar. Again, no tornado warnings currently in effect. Just wanted to come on and talk about the threat for tonight, talk about the threat for tomorrow. So, yeah, Dylan, we'll keep it going with Bob here for a little bit, and we'll keep radar kind of behind the scenes as well. And if anything else should pop, we'll go kind of the dual screen radar and storm chasers. So we'll be away from the microphone here for the next little bit. But you guys stay tuned. Keep the chat going as well, and we'll be here behind the scenes if anything should happen. Thank you, Brett. I think that's Brett that just jumped in chat. Remember that? Yes, livestormchasing.com, and you can go to that on a tablet, your phone, your computer, browser, whatever you got, and you'll see all of our storm chasers live on the map, and it shows you their location, and you can click on their video, make it full screen, just like you see it there with Bob Pack in North Texas. And you guys can always 24/7 follow along with them on the website. So again, I'm going to go on mute for a little bit. We'll take Bob's audio, and we'll be back if needed.
Another one forming back down to the southwest of the more intense one there. Great. Retry. 15 seconds. So much for the getting back home by 1 a.m. Well, if I get tired, I'll just get in a hotel tonight or something. I hate it when I get these 15-second interval retries. But we kind of got an update. Let's see what we got here. Really has not intensified. So where are all the severe storms right now? There's 2 in South Dakota, 1 in West Virginia, and 1 in Virginia. Well, latest scan is not showing me a whole lot. The detached cell to the south looks like it's gotten a little bit better organized, and the cell right here that's just to the southeast, east-southeast of Aspermont, which is coming right at me actually, it's kind of merged in together with that other one. There's no hail marker on it now. Just trying to see if I could see anything going on at the base of that. I mean, you got a couple of lower hanging features out there, but nothing that's that I can tell that is doing any rotating or anything like that. But just for the moment, let me go ahead and look at the velocity on this. Yeah. See if we got anything. No. I can actually see the thing better when I look at my number 2 monitor. It's hard to tell. I mean, what looks like right there may be a wall cloud. I hate it that it's getting so dark, but right in the middle of that wall cloud, you got another lowering coming right out of that. I don't know if I could zoom us in enough to see what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get that zeroed in. Yeah, right there in the middle. That's a little area that I'm kind of keeping an eye on right now. So that little low-hanging feature is gone. Get buried by this here shortly. So let's just get another scan on this. Not impressed with the latest scan. All right, well, I'm gonna move on south again and keep a little eye on this. What I'll do is just add absolutely no traffic out here whatsoever. Time for bug splatters. crop out. More lightning. Storm's shrinking up. That was worth sitting there keeping a watch on it anyway. Right time of the evening with low level jet and everything like that, but nothing. It's limited in what they can do. Still no severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere except South Dakota and Virginia. Should be getting an update here. We're going to shrink up even more. Did, but that one heading to Rule actually tried to intensify a little bit. Eye on it. Not expecting much out of it. Okay. Alright, so that's interesting. That one key, I'm gonna have to remap that key. There's certain one hotkey that I'm pushing for stuff that's tends to want to kill the radar. Alright, so okay. 277 south is what I want. right, 40 miles from Abilene. Only thing on the radar would be the northernmost storm, which is also scooting along pretty good, just south of Benjamin. It's the strongest looking thing out there, but it doesn't look like much either. That's interesting. Alright, yeah, I might have to try a different hotkey because, yeah, I'll set up new hotkeys for these switches because arrow keys apparently want to stop GR from advancing. Yeah, now that cell up there at Benjamin's dwindling as well. Alright, well, I'm going to shut it down. Kind of a repeat earlier is that potentially Friday, Dallas North, we'll see. That timing could change. It could move into Saturday, which if it does, I would probably be out. But if it is Friday, I'm out of pocket on Friday because I have an event that I'm going to be attending that evening. So outside of that, I don't know. We'll see. Be back again at some point. Closer we get to May. In any case, catch everybody later.
Our guys, if you're still rolling along with us, we're riding with Bryce Shelton and Brandon Clement. We also had Bob Pack there for a few minutes in Texas on a storm. Making sure we had audio. Sorry about that audio echo in there for a minute, but just not a lot going on like we've been talking about. So I think what we're going to do here just for a few minutes, we're probably going to go ahead and get ready to shut the stream down. A lot of wind. That's Brandon Clement up there in Texas. Nope, not Texas, Kansas. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Like I said, not a whole lot going on. We'll see if storms form in Kansas here over the next hour or so. But so far, Texas, they canceled that tornado watch early for you guys. So definitely good news there. And tornado watch just issued for northwestern Oklahoma, Kansas, and into parts of southern Nebraska. But as we've seen more and more this year, right as it goes up to the event, it looks kind of crazy. Days out, the day looked very, very active. And then just like many other systems, we kind of get to the day and everything just sort of falls apart. So there's your wide radar view once again, just briefly. Most of the severe weather that we're looking at now continues to be up in South Dakota with all that damaging wind. Don't have any more warnings in Kentucky. Good news there. Millette and Todd counties in South Dakota, 2 separate storms. That's the only warnings we have in the entire country right now. So, like I said, with that, you guys have a good rest of your evening. Now, stream plan for tomorrow. Fortunately, Jarvis is not available tomorrow, and I'm not available most of the day. So we may or may not have a kind of a unattended live stream tomorrow. If I can get things set up before I have to go out of the studio tomorrow, we'll try to do maybe just a storm chaser and radar type of live feed for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. But again, we'll have to play that by ear. And if anything's still going on tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, once I get available after about 7 p.m. Central Time, we'll try to jump on and do some live coverage at that time. But with that, for all of our storm chasers out in the field, like I said, kind of a short and sweet coverage tonight. Not a lot going on. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you, as always, for watching. And make sure, again, if you're new here, you hit that like and subscribe button so you'll get all of our live notifications as well as all of our chaser videos as they're uploaded to the channel. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the evening. Stay safe.